Oh dear. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of GRIDwrap. The reason I'm lying forward like this is because I'm so tired I can't move or else my post is moving for me actually is what's happening. So let's hope it stays like that. We've just finished, Metaverse Television has just finished the 48-hour film project, so anything I say today shouldn't be held against me. However, I am absolutely delighted to have here today Elenia Llewellyn and Tranquillity Dexler from Inworlds, which is Super New Grid out there playing havoc with the SL conscience, I think. And Tessa Harrington, of course, our regular guest from Spot On 3D. Welcome, everybody. I keep slumping, so you have to ignore it, actually. I don't quite know what's happening. I think I've got
Hello, Dousa. How you doing?
I'm all right. I've got the elves in my pose ball is what I think is happening. So, Inworlds. Elenia, I'll come to you first, right? Inworlds has taken everybody by storm, it seems to me. We heard very quickly. I mean, I think you only they had the idea about a year ago, is that right? And it's taken everybody very quickly, and certainly in the last few months seems to be becoming a more and more accepted word, a more heard word on the grid.
Actually, we got started in February 12th last year.
Wow.
So a little over a year and a half now. April 1st is our official date.
Was that on purpose?
No. That's when we first got people paying us for regions, we were like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So that's how it sort of ended up.
Okay. And Tranquillity, what's your role in this?
Right now, everything in the kitchen sink. I started off, I was introduced by a contact, a very nice friend of mine, who still uses Second Life a bit and does occasionally follow us on the Inworlds. And she said that a few people were looking for a software developer to do some work on an OpenSim grid. And I said, okay, that sounds pretty interesting. So I met Legion, who's not here, and Ellie. And they were super nice, and kind of started off working with them. So I basically, right now, unfortunately, I'm doing as much software development as systems stuff. But we're hoping that in the near future, we'll be able to concentrate a lot more on software and a little bit less systems stuff. That's going to, again, depend on growth. So that's me.
That's you. Elenia, how did you come to start Inworlds Grid?
Well, I used to build over here in SL, and I loved the concept. And SL is it's a wonderful platform. And no matter what anybody says, it's got the potential that's just unbelievable for anybody to build whatever they want. But the one thing that I did not like is I'm a very detailed builder. And the prim limitations really kind of set me off. And I tried a couple of the other grids out there, and I just said, we can do this better. And that's how we got started. We started testing, and sure enough, here we are.
Fantastic. And what's your membership at the moment? What's your residency?
We just hit 15,000 as of Friday, and we had over 300 concurrency this weekend.
That's fantastic. Did it start off very slowly and then suddenly build up? Because actually, a year and a half isn't very long, is it, to have developed to this size?
No, before we had Trank, I was doing a lot of the grid coding on the back end. There were a lot of things that were missing that our people wanted, like the profiles and things like that. And I was working on those, and I was always sitting on IDI, which is our welcome center, always greeting anybody new who came in. And we've kept very low-key. We still do, very much so. And then suddenly, right before the TPV policy went into effect for SL, we had this massive wave, and it's sort of taken off ever since then.
Why do you think the TPV policy particularly affected it?
Well, by that time, Trank was making some very massive changes on our back end, and people who had already registered with us came back to see what we were doing and found that the assets and things that he had been working on were far more stable. So they decided to stay, and then they let word spread from there.
Fantastic. Now, Tranquillity, are you finding yourself actually not overloaded so much, but, well, I don't know. How has it been actually? Well, you got interested in doing it, but has the possibility matched up to your hopes?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things to remember about Inworlds is that, you know, we don't charge a ton of money for regions and things, and there's probably a good reason with Second Life's overhead why some of their prices are the way that they are, and I think when I actually go through and take a look at everything, I'm not overwhelmed, but at the same time, there's a lot of work to do, and to actually grow a grid, which has always been our concentration, is to be able to be big, you know, and in order to do that and still keep your prices reasonable, you have to make sure your software is up to par and your systems and hardware are up to par as well. So it's been a lot of work. We do have help. I'm definitely not the only one doing work on the grid, thank God. We have a great developer, Jim Tarver, who comes out of 25 years professional software experience. We have many of our residents also help each other, which is something really huge. Our residents have been a big part of our success, and it's really definitely huge. should not be understated. They help each other. They know where our glitches and bugs are, and they know the workarounds that exist. So we've had really good luck with residents. We've had really good luck with systems, and the software is getting to the point where we know that the base is getting stable. The people aren't going to lose tons of stuff out of their inventory magically, and people aren't going to all of a sudden come to the region and it's gone. Things like that. There are, you know, temporary glitches that make some things appear like that, but we do. We have all our backups. We got everything in place that we need to continue growing. So it's been a lot of work, but it's definitely been worth it. It's been fun, and I think the biggest thing is the interaction with people and seeing how much people appreciate being able to set up a 3D canvas and do what they want with it and make their dreams come out on the screen. People love that, and me actually going into the world and seeing that and talking to people using the system to just kind of make their what they see in their head come out onto a 3D paper is really, really great, and it's very special to me.
Now, presumably that's how they used to feel here. We don't know whether they still do feel. We're not sure whether they still do feel that, I would think, because, you know, they've got quite a lot of detractors in Second Life. I mean, you are both. Are you both Second Life as Tranquillity, or you were in here, were you?
I was, yeah. I started here. I made some content. I did some 3D modeling. I did a lot of scripting on my own, and I really enjoyed Second Life. I really, really did.
So you would know actually what can happen amongst the residents is that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a joyful, happy experience, and while everybody is new, right? But then as they get on, of course, they start to demand. How do you feel you're fixed for that, Elenia?
Well, when they start demanding, there's a lot of things that we're working on. They know what our priorities are. We're very transparent to our residents as to what we're working on, when we're working on, and how long we expect to have it done. Trank is really great about making sure he posts up a roadmap of where he's at. I'm always doing stuff. Of course, I always get sidetracked in what I'm doing, but they know that because we're a small team working, and we have a lot of stuff that we're doing, and they know that. And if they ask for something, if it's a bug, we're right there. We want to know what it is. We want to reproduce it. We want to make sure it gets fixed, especially a high priority one.
So, Tessa, you know all about working in small teams and demanding people.
Oh, yeah. We're spot on. Is in the same situation probably that Inworlds was in about a year ago. So we definitely know all the demanding nature of starting a grid. I'm glad to see another woman involved in this because I kind of joked with my partner, my business partner, Stephen Lieberman of Greenberg and Lieberman. He's an IP attorney. I said, I've seen the big boys try this several times, and they get an ego the size of, Godzilla, and they just go off on this big trip about being God. And I think it's just time a girl tries this, and I just think we have a unique perspective, because I joke around that, the moment you give birth to your children, you think 20 years ahead, and because we know we're going to be judged by how well our children do. They're going to say, you must have had a great mom. And I really think giving birth to a grid is very much like having a child, because they're, every single citizen has their own personality, they have their own needs, they have their own expectations, and they can definitely have tantrums, and it's a big job taking care of them, and it's very much like childcare or building a family and getting everybody to play nice with each other. I'm sure you all are well acquainted with that.
They call me Grid Mom.
I think that one of the things that we really got right is the three partners. Unfortunately, Legion's not here. We all get along very well. None of us have God complexes. None of us think that we're better than anybody else, including each other. And I think we all sort of understand that the most important part of this whole thing is the community and keeping them involved, keeping them in line and making sure, in the line where they can